Zachary Binks,
What is up, Eduardo?
the cat from Hocus Pocus. Is that his name?
Yeah. Well, his name is Thackeray. It starts with a T.
Thackeray?
Yeah, Thackeray.
Don't blow my mind this early in the afternoon. Okay.
I mean, look, when you grow up with this name and you hear something that might kind of sound like your name, you watch the
Thackeray.
credits. You watch the credits to find out, and turns out it's not Zachary.
Thackeray. That is
Thackeray
fucking
Binks.
weird.
Well, I mean, it's from like the 1600s or some shit.
Were they just throwing rocks together and being like, okay, this is your name?
I mean, maybe.
Do you hear that? That was such a Thackeray.
Yeah, I don't think it went down like that.
That's fucking weird. You are a fan of trash reality TV, aren't you?
100%. I record and watch every Jersey Shore. Now we watch Floribama Shore.
Hold on. What?
Yeah, you heard me.
Floribama?
Floribama Shore.
What?
It's kids from Georgia, like the Georgia, Florida, Alabama area, and they all randomly put them together and put them in a house, just like they did at Jersey Shore. You know that the kids in Jersey Shore, they weren't friends till the show, right?
No.
Yeah, so they weren't friends at all. They didn't even know each other until they put them in the house on the Jersey Shore, and then now they're like family.
This is more of a stupid real world to where they get ignorant people together and whatever. I'm assuming the rebel shore, whatever you're calling it,
that's no.
It
Floribama Shore.
So it's a bunch of second cousins that are getting together and fucking each other.
I don't think they're related.
I guarantee you do trace their bloodline. They're all cousins in some way.
I mean, I will say that most of their family trees are straight up and
Crossed.
down. But, you know.
Well, you watch that garbage, so I wouldn't be surprised if you watch this garbage.
Okay.
You don't have any tattoos, correct?
I do not.
Would you ever be willing to go on to a show with me to where I get to pick a tattoo for you?
Fuck no.
And you get to pick a tattoo for me?
No, because I would like to think that you wouldn't put some dumb shit on my body, but I know you. So, yeah. And you would be a little bit afraid of what I would pick to put on your body. So you'd be like, I got to one-up him for sure. And then so like, it would be, hey, I think this is probably where he's going to go, right? He's going to go to like a 6, right, for a bad tattoo, right? But then he knows I'm going to go to a bad tattoo. So maybe he ratchets it up to a 7. So I've got to go to a 9 just to make sure that I best him, right? That's what would happen.
Then it would be a huge clusterfuck because then we'd both have hideous tattoos. And
now, how funny would it be, though, if we went on that show and we both picked the exact same tattoo?
So you already know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I've seen it. Snooki's on that show.
It's called How Far is Tattoo Far?
Yeah. And, I've seen people break up on that show.
I don't understand the people that come on these shows. Now, granted, I don't believe in reality TV whatsoever, except this one. These people are actually getting these tattoos.
Well, so the reason why those people do that show is the same reason that people did
Jerry Springer back in the day.
Like all that dumb shit. They wanted their chance to get their 15 minutes of fame. They think that they can go on that show and they're like pretty enough or funny enough. What the fuck are you showing me?
Yeah, these are some of the tattoos that are on there.
Okay, so this tattoo that's on the right, that's the hamster with the period blood, that's not from the show.
It's not.
No, that's from Jersey Shore.
That's disgusting.
Yeah, so Angelina's husband, he got that tattooed on him, I think on his bachelor party. Who has a fake whale tail? What the fuck
I don't know.
Is that?
But that looks like the back of a dude more than likely.
Oh, yeah, no, it definitely is. But it looks like they're wearing some lacy panties.
This one has a nut sack.
See, I feel like the tattoo that you would pick for me would be guaranteed to have a dick in it.
I guess we'll never know.
Right? Like, it would be funny. I think it would be hilarious if you were on this show to get like the statue of David tattooed on their back. And then when it got to the dick part, you made them put like a 12-inch dick that was hard.
Some of this stuff, though, like, what?
This is some dumb shit, man.
And like, I'm assuming they're limited to where they can put them, or the participants are saying, "Hey, you can't go on my neck." Or
I don't think so.
this is just like insane that people
But
would go on national television.
they
to
want
get-
that fame, dude.
But honestly, is Suki a host on here?
Snooki, yeah, she's a host.
Okay, so outside of her, can you name one person that has been on this show that is famous now?
No, but I'm saying the people that go on these shows, the people that are on these types of shows, they literally think, what the fuck is that? Do you see? Yeah, that's the same one that I saw.
What is that?
These people literally think that they'll go on this show and their personality is so good and they look so good that somebody will want to put them on TV.
This is the most idiotic thing. This is our future right here, ladies and gentlemen. If you're listening to the audio, I want you to stop right now, go to YouTube, find this video, and see the images that I'm bringing up on this. This is outrageous.
It's unbelievable.
This is a show. People are going on this and getting free tattoos of a picture of a chick taking a dump.
They're doing it willingly.
This is bonkers. Like, I've got tattoos. I get the addiction of tattoos, but I would never, ever, even in my dumbest time of life, would I ever go on a show. Look at this. This dude's got a bra tattooed on him.
Yeah. See, that's so weird.
I couldn't do it. I wouldn't do it.
No.
And now I understand we're going to get hit up by people that listen to the show. Well, what if I won the lotto and had... Well, of course, if you're going to throw $1 million at me to get a dumbass tattoo, I'm probably going to get it.
Yeah, I mean, everyone
I'm contradicting myself a little bit, but $1 million is $1 million, homie.
I'm shocked that this show is an actual thing. I half-ass think that it's fake. I don't think they're really getting these tattoos.
You really?
Yeah, I don't think they're doing it.
It's either that or they're getting it with the producer saying, "Hey, if you don't want it, we will pay for the LASIK or the laser removal."
I've heard that hurts way worse than the fucking tattoo.
I don't know if it's the same as what it used to be back in the day, but
I don't know.
I don't know. I saw that come across probably TikTok or somewhere, and I was like, surely Zach watches this garbage. I got to bring it up.
I don't watch it. I have seen a few episodes. It's not really something that's up my alley. I like watching the other one that's hosted by the dude from Jane's Addiction. What's the name of that show? Ink Masters or something.
Ink Masters.
I
yes.
like watching that show because that's actually talented artists. That's pretty
absolutely
cool. It almost makes me want to get a tattoo.
There was one episode where they did portrait art, and this was early when the show started. And there were some artists that looked phenomenal coming up to that point, and when they got to portrait, big weakness.
Yeah.
But also at the same time, if you have a portrait, that's on you. I'm not a fan of them whatsoever.
Well, no, I mean the deal is that you're going to get the picture of someone, but then like the canvas that it's on is constantly changing, right? So you have no idea what that's going to look like.
I just got a lightning bolt just hit my head. I'm going to get a 2 Wannabe Athletes Talk Sports tattoo if we can get 1,000 followers on Facebook.
1,000 followers?
1,000 followers on Facebook. How about 1,000 followers on Facebook or YouTube? I'll get a 2 Wannabe Athletes Talk Sports tattoo.
Where?
I don't know. I may even put it on a vote to let the fans decide.
I mean, as long as it's not on your forehead, right?
It's not going to be on my face or my neck. It's going to be somewhere tasteful. Okay.
So like the side of your cock.
Right.
Yeah, perfect. I like
But
that
I
idea.
don't think all that's going to fit on there. It's too small.
Just put the abbreviation.
It still won't fit.
Man, I always used to hear this joke about this dude got a tattoo, and
I already know where you're going with this.
what? Where am I going?
Go on.
So it says he's like, yeah, I got this tattoo. It's on my dick. I'm like, why the fuck would you get a tattoo on your dick? And he's like, yeah, it says hold on. I'm trying to think of how the joke goes, but
Is it the $100 bill?
No, it's the one where it says it's like initials, and it's like, I can't think of what it is, but it's like HV HVGOGFD. And you're like, what the fuck? Why would you get those random ass letters tattooed on your dick? Because,
Right.
well, that's just what it says when it's not erect. But when it gets hard, it says Harper Valley of Greater Georgia Fire Department, Volunteer Fire Department. You're like, what the fuck? So, the joke is that it's really small, and then when it gets harder, it has like 17 fucking letters on it and shit. I don't know.
He's a grower, not a shower, ladies.
Yeah, exactly.
Bro, you ready to get into some sports?
Like neither a grower or a shower?
Ooh.
Just like wet noodle all the time? Floppy.
R.I.P. for that dude. Are you confessing something
No. Hell,
right now?
I'm okay.
Okay.
You ready to start the show?
Let's get to it, man.
Let's do it.
Woo!
Donkey.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another episode of Two Wannabe Athletes Talk Sports. I'm Ed.
I'm Zach.
Here we are again, assholes, for another day of sports talk and bullshit. Last night was the kickoff of the NBA season with the Warriors versus the Lakers and the Nets versus the Bucks. Where you want to start with this one? Because, I mean, both games look pretty interesting, huh?
Really, they were pretty good. It didn't disappoint. Obviously, the Nets were without Kyrie Irving, so that sucks. But we'll start Lakers Warriors.
Okay.
At first, the first half, Lakers looked in control, looked like they were gonna just walk away with the victory there, and then the Warriors turned it on in the second half, ended up pulling off the road win there. They won 21-14 or 21-114. So really pretty good game. Other than LeBron James and Anthony Davis, though, there wasn't really much to speak about with the Lakers. James Harden had 34 points and Anthony Davis had 33, but
James
the
Harden's
next highest scorer was Russell Westbrook, which you would kind of figure, but he had 8 points. I'm not really sure what role they're expecting from him. I think that he thinks he's still the best player on this team, despite who's actually on the roster. And he kind of showed that last night. I want to say he was 4 of 14 or 4 of 16 and had 4 turnovers. So not really. We all know who Russell Westbrook is. He's not a shooter. That's not his game. But I feel like on a roster that's this good, he needs to take a step back and realize, hey, I don't have to do it all, right? I've got other guys on the floor that can drop 50 in a night. So let's kind of slow it down, make sure we control the ball, make sure that each possession matters, because his like high flying, straight towards the basket with no holds barred, style is just not, it's not going to work on this team. And I think your opinion is that he's just not a good fit for this team.
I really don't think I think they wasted money with picking up Westbrook because we're already game one into it. We're already seeing this problem of too many Chiefs, right? Anthony Davis being the powerhouse in the paint that he is. LeBron James can control the entire court by himself. Westbrook is used to having role players around him that he benefits off them for his own stat purposes, right? And this is not a team that's going to do that. Now, he passed the ball a little bit around yesterday, but the problem was the lanes weren't open for him to drive in. He took shots that he normally probably doesn't take, or at the end of the day, maybe he had an off night, right? I think
Could have
we're
been.
going
It
to
could have
have
been
to
some
see
rust.
how
That's true.
it could have been an off night, right? It's just game one, right? We
Yeah.
still got a lot of the season to play.
Right, and that's the other thing. I mean, it's really hard to look at one small sample size of one fucking game and being like, "Oh, this guy sucks. They need to get rid of him." Like that's a whole other thing. But
In all reality, though, like I get why you would get Westbrook because it's a name. I can only imagine the price of tickets in LA right now. And granted, they're going to sell out every day because you have the fucking dream team of the 2000s on on their roster, right? I think it's also going to have to see who they play against, right? Golden State, you look at their team, they have defensive players. They're not a scrub team. I mean, shit, yesterday you talked about they're what, number 3 on your power rankings?
yeah, 3 or 4. Yeah,
So was the outcome of the game a surprise to me? No, it could have gone either way. I would have been happy either way, right?
yeah,
But also at the same time, like you and I have mentioned, I feel like Westbrook, going back to Westbrook is not going to be the triple double Westbrook that we're used to seeing on a daily night because of the fact that Anthony Davis and LeBron James are one, if not both, are always going to be on the court. If you have both of them off the court, you are going to probably see Westbrook numbers go up. But for the most part, I don't see them rotating it to where James and Davis are both off the court at the same time. Um, their bench also is a problem yesterday. Their bench didn't really help out that much. Melo had 9, Howard had 5, Rondo had 3. But you compare that to the bench that came off Golden State. Golden State's bench, 15, 12, 15. Like you had people coming in and picking up the slack during the rotations, right? So
yeah. The Warriors had 6 players in double digits, and the Lakers only had 2.
right. And again, that's a problem if you have a super team. This is the definition of super team. The trios of the day are no longer. Now you have some of the biggest names in the NBA on one team together, and only 2 of them are double digits. Like I said, we still have a lot of season left. We still have to see what this team can do. I think the coach might be a little overwhelmed, and I know a lot of people I've talked to in the past said, well, in the NBA, when you have a team like that, you're not really worried about coaching. The players are doing the coaching themselves. Well, if that's the case, this is a part to where LeBron James doesn't know how to coach these players because they all benefit the team in some way, but he can't figure out how to put that in motion to where he still stays on top, right?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, this is game 1 of 82. So, go ahead. I don't really want to say that the Lakers are done. I don't want to say that Russell Westbrook needs to be traded. So I think it's just he needs to learn how to best operate in this offense. I think once he realizes, which I'm sure he does, I'm sure he already understands, it runs through LeBron James. LeBron James sets the tone, and Anthony Davis, who might be one of the best players, he's probably number 3 in the league, right? He takes a backseat to what LeBron James wants to do because that's how they succeed. And
Right.
so I think once Russell Westbrook gets comfortable, finds where he's supposed to fit into this wheel, I think they'll get better. Obviously, I think they're going to win the West. They're going to win a lot of games out, a lot of games. LeBron James is going to miss a lot of games and they're going to win. Anthony Davis is going to miss a lot of games and they're still going to win. So I'm not worried about the team. I just feel like last night was a game where everybody's healthy, right? You're fully rested. Everybody's fine. And he wasn't prepared. And Steph Curry dropped 21 points, but he put in 21 points in a game where his team scored 121.
Yeah.
Right. So that's pretty dangerous because we all know Steph Curry can put 40 in. He could put 21 in a quarter, so I think it's a good feeling for them to know that their team is already kind of gelled. They know their roles. The weight is not that high on Steph Steph Curry just carry the team to the finish line. So this is probably a good look for them. I mean, but like I said, it's game 1 of 82. Let's see what happens going down the road. The other game that happened last night, there was only 2. Nets at Bucks, and Giannis just kind of picked up right where he left off last year. They beat the Nets 127 to 104. Giannis had 32 points.
So before we get in depth on that game, looking at the 2 games side by side, which one had a bigger impact?
I mean, I guess the Bucks game had a bigger impact because, like you said, we thought the Lakers could have won or the Warriors could have won. It could have gone either way, right? I think it shows more, like, team-wise, that the Golden State Warriors were able to win. They were able to score 121 points when Steph Curry only put in 21. But I think the bigger statement was that Giannis just is already in mid-season form.
Mm-hmm.
So when a guy is that powerful and is that dangerous and he starts off the season hot, man, that's a good recipe for the rest of the season.
I think looking at this game right now, this is one of the games I missed last night. But I can agree with you. Like, the Bucks look pretty solid on it. They're starting 5, 4 of them were in the double digits, and 2 off the bench were in the double digits, looking pretty sharp. Giannis being 12 for 25 with 32 points is nothing to just bat an eye at, right? The bad blood between James Harden and Giannis are going to continue through this year, I think. I think we're going to hear a lot more trash talking. And I'm waiting to see these 2 meet up again. The bench from Brooklyn, they need to do a better job of stepping up and filling in the roles as well. Just because, I mean, their best player, Patty Mills, coming off with 21 points, right? Off the bench.
Yeah.
Nobody else. You had
Patty Mills had 21 points. James Harden scored 20, but I think to me, the bigger thing to take away is that on a team where Kevin Durant scored 32 points, James Harden was on the floor, the Bucks held him right about 100 points. I mean, that's kind of pretty good. Like, if you think about it, James Harden has won multiple scoring titles, and Kevin Durant is probably the best pure shooter in the NBA for, like, all ranges, not necessarily just threes. And yeah, he got 32 points. Harden had 20, but the team only scored 104. So I don't know. That's a kind of a bend but don't break defense, where, hey, look, we know Kevin Durant's going to get his shots. We know he's going to knock down some shots that are going to be contested, but as long as it's just him and we're able to make a couple stops on him, we should be able to outscore the rest of the team. And that's kind of what it looks like they did.
Like we mentioned, there's still a lot of basketball left to play. Tonight we have more games going on. First games for all of them. No repeats from Golden State or Lakers or Bucks or Nets. They'll have the night off. Looking at it, the schedule for tonight, one of the biggest games that I'm very interested in seeing, just like last night's, is the Suns and Nuggets. Who do you got on that one?
I'm going to pick the Nuggets. Just because I think the Suns maxed out last year.
Oh, wow.
I think that was the best that team possibly could have been. And I just see a downfall for them this year. I don't know. And I like the Nuggets a lot. I like their excuse me, I like their roster. Obviously Nicola's pretty good, so there's that. But I mean, I don't know, man. Plus it's Denver, so I think that's part of it.
Right.
But yeah, no, I'm gonna pick the Nuggets. I mean, it's only one game. If it was like a series, if it was a playoff series, best of 7, I probably would take whoever had home court advantage because I think they're pretty closely matched.
Yeah. I'm also going to watch, just because it's hometown, Rockets versus Timberwolves. They're in Minnesota. I want to see how this young team looks Now, granted, these are two of the garbage teams
Yeah.
of the NBA, but there's a lot of potential for the Rockets with all the newcomers that they have on there. So I'll be eager to see how they do just because it's a home team.
It might be the lowest rated NBA game, but yeah, when it's the Rockets, we gotta see what
Intern,
product we have.
write that on the board.
What?
Lowest rated
It might be the
game of the
lowest
night.
rated game all season.
I wonder. I'm sure they have it out there, like individual ratings for each game, right?
They do, yeah.
I'm definitely going to look at that. All right. So looking at it, we got Rockets, Timberwolves, Pacers, Hornets, Bulls, Pistons, Celtics, Knicks. That's going to be another good one. Wizards, Raptors, Cavaliers, Grizzlies, 76ers, Pelicans, Magic, Spurs, Thunder, Jazz, Nuggets, Suns, Kings, Trailblazers. So all those listed, you say Rockets, Timberwolves, the lowest rating.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense. I mean, they were the two of the worst teams last year.
True.
So
Oh.
I don't know. I'm glad that basketball season's around. We can start watching some different sports. Not to say that I'm burnt out on football or baseball. I want to broaden my horizons, man.
Well, you're about to get broadened because I'm going to hit you with a little bit of hockey truth.
Oh shit. I haven't even looked at hockey.
So, for those of y'all who have been following us on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok, and I think I mentioned some on Twitter as well, Ed's hockey picks, I am 10-6 as of to date.
That's making money there, sir.
Yesterday was a week of NHL regular season going. Tonight we have Boston Bruins versus Philadelphia Flyers with St. Louis Blues versus the Vegas Golden Knights, excuse me, before I piss somebody off. I haven't ran my numbers on this, but just had a quick glance at it. They've got over under for Boston versus Philly at 5.5 with Boston favored, and 5.5 for the second game with Vegas favored at -125. Just a quick little glance. Let's see. Vegas is averaging around 3 points. Blues are giving up about 3.5, but they're averaging 6 points out of 2 games. And Vegas is giving up 4.5 average. I'm gonna go with the over on that one probably, but once I double check my numbers, we'll come back to it. These are just off the tip, giggity. So, y'all, if you're not following us, on those social media sites, you're missing out on these picks. And if you're not sports betting, well, we've got the perfect opportunity for you. rrsportsbetting.com.
Yeah, buddy.
They're giving a promotion right now with our code Wannabe to where it's no juice until the end of the year or $100 free play. And you can't beat that, right? I mean, all you got to do is sign up with no deposit and you can get $100 free and play. What?
Yeah, who's doing that?
Oh, RR Sports Betting.
Right, that's it. Nobody else.
The number's popping up on your screen right now. I need you to go ahead and text that number and then give them the code Wannabe so you can get that offer. If you're not doing it, you're missing out.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm not saying you got to bet on hockey. I'm just saying you got to bet. Free money.
If you look at Ed's picks and you're like, this guy doesn't know shit, just fade his picks. And then that way you can show him the next day, look, I followed your advice. I did the exact opposite. I made money. Or you can show him, hey, you know what? I'm going to start following you because you made some good picks. Do what you want, man.
I made
all at RR Sports Betting.
I made a good chunk of change off of hockey last year. I'm doing more in-depth research right now to try to help everybody who's listening to my picks. And then again, at the end of the day, it's your money, it's your decisions. You don't have to follow me. You can follow me, but if you lose money, don't be hitting me up for your paycheck, okay? Because no. You put that bet, not me. I'm just giving you my recommendations. That's all it is.
Right. Dude, so I just clicked over and I saw the new ESPN NFL Power Rankings. You want to run through those?
Let's do it.
Who do you think's number one?
Arizona.
Of course, they're the only undefeated team, so it kind of makes sense. But
right.
Who do you think is number two? It's kind of
the Rams.
What?
The Rams.
No, it is your Buffalo Bills.
Okay.
I mean, they just lost to Tennessee, which is
that's why I'm kind of surprised it's them.
yeah. Los Angeles Rams are number 3.
Okay. Then I'd put Tampa Bay at number 4.
Tampa Bay is number 4.
Number 5 would be the Dallas Cowboys.
Dallas Cowboys, that's correct.
Number 6 is going to be Green Bay.
Ooh, number 6 is Baltimore Ravens.
Ah, fuck.
I'm okay with that. That's not a bad
Well,
thing.
no, I'm just mad because I got it wrong because I didn't think about
that's
Baltimore.
because you suck.
I do.
7
is Green Bay.
Is your Green Bay Packers.
Number 8, shit. Now we're getting into the hardcore shit.
This is the nitty gritty. It's where you separate the boys from the men, or however that saying goes.
Number 8 is going to be a 4-2 team.
Correct.
Tennessee.
New Los Angeles Chargers.
Wow.
And that was number 8. Number 9.
The Bengals.
The Kansas City Chiefs at 3-3.
Ugh.
And rounding out the top 10.
Hold on. How are we gonna? Never mind. This is
I'm
almost
telling you, the national media is still holding that torch for the Kansas City Chiefs, and they are falling apart. I don't know what's going on.
The best one-year dynasty team.
I'm not going to go there because they still have the best quarterback in the league, but
not this year.
They need to fix something. Something's wrong.
Where are we at? Number 10
on it, but something's wrong. But yeah, number 10 is the Tennessee Titans.
Okay, number 11 is going to be Vegas.
Number 11 is Cincinnati.
That's what I said.
Yeah, well, because you said Cincinnati earlier and you didn't get there. Number 12 is Cleveland, which I don't understand that at all. And number 13 is your Las Vegas Raiders.
Wow.
After that, it's really stupid. Like,
right.
I don't.
Can I guess where the Texans are?
Yeah, as soon as I find them. Let me scroll down a little bit further.
Yeah, go all the way to the bottom. They're not 32 because that's going to be Detroit.
32 is Detroit. Yeah, all right, let's name the bottom 10. Let's see if you can do it.
See,
Detroit,
this is where
obviously is 31 or 32.
31 is a toss-up between Jets, Giants, Jacksonville, and Texans.
Oh, okay. So that, I mean, yes, I agree with you.
I'm going to go 31 Texans.
No, 31 is the New York Giants.
Okay, but they were also on a bye week too, so
right. 30 is the Houston Texans.
There they are. 29 is going to be Jacksonville.
That is correct.
28 is New York.
That is correct.
27, shit, who else has a crappy record right now? Miami?
The Miami Dolphins. That is
hey!
Look
I know how to
you.
pick trash.
So that's not too bad. You know your garbage teams.
That's embarrassing.
Yeah, a little bit. Pretty bad.
Oh.
I mean, it makes it worse that the Denver Broncos are 20th. Like, why? They are garbage. As long as they have Nick Fangio, Vic Fangio, and they have Pat Shurmur calling plays, like, they're fucked.
Yeah.
I mean, at this point, like, why even start Teddy Bridgewater? He's not your future, right? You already know what he is. He's a good backup. Start Drew Lock, and then that way you can actually find out, hey, can this kid play or not? Because he's only had 18 starts. So you let him start the rest of the season, and then if he sucks, you're not any better. Your team is still losing games. You can draft in the top of the draft. Get a quarterback.
Yeah.
That way you can cut ties with everybody. You can fire the head coach, defensive coordinator, offensive coordinator. You should just completely start over with the GM. GM builds it from the ground up.
True.
I mean, at this point, you're 3-3, and you haven't even been competitive in the last 3 weeks. So, I mean, the 49ers are ranked 18th, which is kind of low, I think. But, I mean, they've had a shit ton of injuries. So, the one that makes me the most mad is the Minnesota Vikings. They have them ranked 16th, which is like right in the middle. But they're a better team than that. Like, they've lost some games they probably shouldn't have lost. Obviously, Carolina played them real tough this last week. But Minnesota, I think, is a team that's very good. They've got 2 really good running backs.
Yep.
Their quarterback's playing, I think he's playing above his actual level. But Adam Thielen and Justin Jefferson are dynamic wide receivers. So I just think at the end of the season, Minnesota is not going to be a team you want to see in the playoffs.
No, and they're not. But you also look at it. I mean, they do an outstanding job as far as spreading the ball around, right?
I
We're
agree.
seeing KJ Osborne get some touches, and nobody even heard of him before. I think he's on his rookie year. I might be wrong.
Who's that?
Osborne,
I think he is a rookie. Yeah.
is that his name?
Yeah. Is it KJ Osborne?
KJ Osborne. Tyler Conklin has stepped in pretty well to fill in for Irv Smith Jr.
Yeah.
There was another wide receiver that was on a. I'm thinking of something else. But no, I mean, this is a really good team, right? The defense has had moments to where you're just like, is this for real? And then they come back and they're like, holy shit, this is a great defense, right?
Yep.
Danielle Hunter is not a name to forget. Nick Vigil, however you want to pronounce it, he's been stepping up lately. Eric Kendricks is also a good linebacker. Anthony Barr, Xavier Woods, Harrison Smith. These are
It's a really good team, like
It
top
really
to
is.
bottom. I feel like
This is another team on paper when you look at them like this is a team that should be feared. Now, does their record reflect that? Not so much, but you can't say that they've really been blown out. The closest game that they've been blown out on was the what? Shit, I'm looking right now. They lost to Cincinnati by 3. They lost to Arizona by 1. They lost to Cleveland by a touchdown, right? So,
and that was Cleveland when they were fully healthy.
right. So, this is, I mean, you look how close they came to beating Arizona. I mean, this, like you said, I'm with you. This is a team that once they get into the playoffs, like they can be very dangerous.
Yeah, 1-point loss to Arizona. They beat the Seahawks when Russell Wilson was healthy.
Mm-hmm.
They had a one touchdown loss to the Browns, but that was in a game. The final score was 14-7.
Right.
That was a game where the offense just could do absolutely nothing. Might have been a bad coaching scheme. It could have been just they didn't have it that day, whatever. But yeah, I mean, that was a weird game if you watched it. Obviously, the win over the Lions was kind of garbage. They should have done way better than that, but they got out of there with a win. Like there's no style points in NFL, so they won.
Right.
Panthers played them pretty tough. I guess we'll really see who they are this Sunday. They play Sunday Night Football against the Cowboys.
No, they're on a bye week, sir.
Oh, wait. Oh, I'm sorry. That's Halloween. I didn't look at the date. So on Halloween, they play the Dallas Cowboys. So their next game will be a real test.
Their next 5 games are going to be a test. They have Dallas, Baltimore, the Chargers, Green Bay, San Francisco.
Wow. That's
like, if that's not a tough schedule right in the middle of the season, right after a bye week too, I don't know what is, right? Like, I would almost prefer having the bye week in between some of those games.
Oh, yeah. I'd rather play the Cowboys, Vikings. I mean, the Cowboys and Ravens, then have a bye week and come back to the Chargers.
Thankfully, all of them are going to be Sunday games. Granted, they have Sunday night football on Halloween against Dallas, but they're not having any short weeks. They don't have a short week until week 13 to week 14. 14.
Yeah, they play the Lions and they go to the Steelers.
Right. So I mean, at that point, we're going to see where every team really is at that. Detroit's still going to be 0-12 at that point, so we don't have to worry about them. Pittsburgh might squeeze out a couple more surprise wins here and there. But
yeah, I say if Ben Roethlisberger can get healthy, then the Steelers might be somebody to worry about because I think Najee Harris is the real deal. But yeah, we'll see. Ben Roethlisberger hasn't been worth shit the whole season.
Najee's been off to a slow start, though, but I'm with you, though. He's starting to build some traction. He's starting to get where everybody wanted him to be. Now, granted, they wanted him to be there in week 1, but he wasn't, so we'll keep watching to see how that turns out. I know we're jumping weeks into NFL, but we'll cover all of NFL week.
All of it.
What week are we on? 7.
Yep.
Tomorrow.
Week 7 starts tomorrow,
yeah. Baseball.
Yeah, there's a little bit of baseball.
Bonkers.
Really, both series are really good. Obviously, Astros tied it up last night. It's 2-2. Astros Red Sox.
Go Stros.
And it is 2-1 in the Braves Dodgers series. Dodgers were down 5-2 in the bottom of the 8th inning. Cody Bellinger hits a 3-run bomb, ties the game. And then, stop me if you've heard this name before. Mookie Betts comes
Bro,
through
did
in
you
the
see that
clutch.
hit?
Dude, he
How
is
do you
something
fucking
else.
swing that high and bomb it?
When you're an all-star, that's just how it
My
works, man.
God.
And I don't know if you know this, but he also has bowled like 7 or 8 300 games. Just
Yeah,
throwing it out there.
you've mentioned it on here before.
He's a pretty good bowler, man.
I'm watching that fucking home run. I'm just like, how are you swinging that high? That was almost at his fucking shoulders.
Hey, man, I had a coach back in the day. He said, I don't care what you swing at, but if you swing, you better fucking hit it. So it doesn't matter where the pitch is. I mean, look at Altuve, right? Most of the pitches Altuve hits are in his nose level.
Man, I was listening to the Astros game on the way home yesterday, and Altuve's first up to bat, and the announcers was talking about, oh, he normally swings at the first pitch, swings at it, pop fly. I'm like, you son of a bitch! Like
Yeah.
they know you're gonna do this. Change the fucking up.
They knew what he was going to do in the 8th inning too, and what did he do? He hit it off the fucking green
He went
monster
yard.
for a home
I'll give
run.
him-
So there you go.
Back to the Dodgers Brave game real quick. Like, you can't rest on fucking Cody Bellinger. Cody Bellinger is so nasty, man. Like, I
Dude,
know we hate the Dodgers, but damn, he's so good.
Well, and that's what's weird, right? Like we know he's a good player, but he hasn't been shit for a while now.
He really hasn't. And I don't
And
know
it's
what it is
weird.
with the Dodgers and their superstars. Once they hit playoffs, they don't shine. Like, I think the playoffs, in my opinion, made Justin Turner who he is, right?
Yeah.
Mookie Betts, though, Mookie Betts is probably the only big contract that came out this year, with the exception of Tatis, has shown he's worth the money, right? And even in the playoffs, he's doing that. Seager was a MVP threat throughout most of the season, and what is he doing this postseason?
I'm looking at their lineup. Justin Turner's over 3. The catcher Will Smith is 2 for 5. Trey Turner's 1 for 5. Corey Seager's 1 for 4. Mookie Betts was 2 for 3. Chris Taylor's a really good player. He just annoys me with his fucking bat, but 2 for 4, scored a run. I mean,
Seager's 222 average, 9 for 36, or I'm sorry, 8 for 36. Like, bro, your regular season, you're batting 306.
yeah. I mean, really, I think this one it was timely hitting, obviously, but the bullpen for the Dodgers really closed the door. Walker Buehler, he was the starter. He only went 3 2/3. Gave up 6 hits and 3 walks, which is a big deal. 2 earned runs, but the rest of the pitching staff, 1 earned run, right? So, like, I don't know if you know this, but if your starter goes 3 2/3, then that means your bullpen has to pitch 5 1/3, and to give up one earned run in 5 1/3 innings, that's pretty damn good. I mean, they did score 4 in the 4th inning.
Mm-hmm.
But how the hell they score 4 runs in the 4th inning? And there's only 3 earned runs, but there were no errors. Explain that. They walk in a run?
They had to.
They had to have, right? Well, I didn't watch the game. Clearly, I was watching the Astros game, but that must have been what it was. They walked in a run.
Yeah, Niebel, he had a walk with an earned run.
Okay.
But you look at on the flip side with Atlanta, Charlie Morton did his job. He came out, he pitched 5 innings, 3 hits, 2 runs.
When you have a starter go five innings and less than 2 earned runs, I mean, that's a victory. The problem with his start is he had 6 walks.
True, but at the end of the day, though, if Jackson wouldn't have given up that bomb, I mean, we'd be talking Braves 3-0 right now.
Well, but I mean, he gives up the bomb with runners on, right? So
True.
then that's the problem. Like, in the playoffs, you have to realize that you're not going to beat these guys every at bat, but you have to beat them when there's runners on. Like, you have to amp up when there's runners on, especially after a walk. You can't be giving batters extra chances. You can't be getting it to where these home runs are worth, 2 and 3 and 4 runs, because 4 runs with the swing of a bat, we've seen in the Astro series, it deflates the crowd, it deflates the team, it deflates the dugout. Watching a grand slam being given up is so like the energy is just dead after that. And the Astros have seen 3 in the last 2 games. So fuck you. But
let's go ahead and move to the Astros game. And I want to bring something up, because watching the past 3 games now, actually 4 games, 3 of the 4, we've seen the Dusty take out the starting pitcher before the 3rd inning.
Yeah, they haven't lasted through the 3rd inning at all. So
Greinke's supposed to be the number 1 now, I guess, since Lance is out.
Yes.
He pitched 1 inning, 1 hit, 2 runs, 3 walk. Why does Dusty pull him that early?
That's a good question. Live, when it happened in the game, I didn't really understand it. Like, to me, you start taking out pitchers when they're walking players, or when the other team is getting solid contact off of them, not necessarily hits, right? Like, I could understand if the at bat where he took him out, it was like a crushed line drive to the first baseman, but it was weak contact that just happened to be in a random spot where they couldn't turn a double play. So I don't fully understand. So, full disclosure, I don't like Dusty Baker.
A lot of Houston fans don't, right?
Well, there's a difference between not liking him because he's a bad manager and not liking him because you're an Astros fan. So we are not old enough to remember when Dusty Baker was a player. Okay.
Correct.
And so there's a story out there that Dusty Baker was traded to the Astros when he was a player, and then he refused to show up because he would not play for the Astros. And he said some choice words about the Astros, how he would never play in Houston and blah, blah, blah. Fast forward, now he's 74 years old and he's the manager of the Astros in the ALCS. So there are people that hate him for shit that he did 40 years ago. But then there's guys like us that have seen him manage wins into losses, right? I've seen him mismanage a bullpen and starting pitching so bad that he hampered himself later on. So just to go forward in this game, the Astros used 6 pitchers last night. Okay, so they've used 6 pitchers plus in every game in this series. So you can't keep running the same guys out there. And you can't be running guys out there that you don't trust either. So why he would pull Zach Greinke there in that spot, I don't fully understand, unless they're worried about his conditioning, because remember, he had COVID and then he had a neck strain. And so this is really the only, like, the second or third time he's pitched in like the last 30 days. So maybe that's what it was. They were worried about him. And then on top of that, you've got Lance McCullers, who got hurt when they brought him into a game, or they pitched him in 2 games in short rest. So that could be the problem too. They're worried that they might overuse him and then he strains his forearm like Lance McCullers did. And then now he's done for the rest of the series, and you got just a hodgepodge of starters.
Right.
So, dude, I don't know. It was a big turnaround from the previous couple games where the Red Sox were just mashing the baseball. In this game, the Red Sox scored on a 2-run home run in the bottom of the first and never scored again. So this was a much better pitching job. Hat off to Christian Javier. He had 3 innings pitched, 3 shutout innings. He did walk 2 people, but I mean, he looked good. I guess the one takeaway that I have from these games so far is the walks are killing both teams.
Absolutely.
And the Red Sox seem to be challenging the Astros, and the Astros are just having to battle back to get to the walks. But for whatever reason, the Astros just seem like that once they get a strike on a batter, they don't come back into the strike zone. No. And so I've seen so many counts where it's 0-1, and then he throws 4 straight balls, and now there's a runner on first. And then there's pass ball, runner on second, then another walk. and then it hits to the outfield, scores a run, guy on third. It's just it starts the momentum in their favor when you don't go after them.
Right.
This is both of these teams are very good offensively, but I feel like you still have to challenge these guys. There's a reason why the Astros collectively as a team had one of the lowest ERAs in Major League Baseball. And so you have to remember, yeah, these guys are good, but they're not going to beat me every time. I've still got to throw strikes. I've still got to execute my pitches. And there's a reason why our team is here. I need to throw better pitches. So I don't know. We'll see what happens tonight. Now the series is tied 2-2, guaranteed to come back to Houston. Historically, the team that has home field advantage when the series goes to 2-2 is 55%. So anything could happen, basically. It's a coin toss.
Well, we get a pitching matchup from game 1 today, this afternoon, with Chris Sales versus Framber Valdez. At home, Chris Sales, for those of y'all keeping track, is 5-0 with an ERA of 2.48. During the day, he has an ERA of 4.09 with 1 win, 5 earned runs, 2 home runs, 4 walks, and 21 strikeouts. So with us seeing the same pitching game or matchup as last time, do you think we repeat? Do the Astros repeat against Chris Sales? Game 1, he went 2 innings, 5 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts.
I'm not 100% sure. Chris Sale is one of the best left-handed pitchers we've seen in a long time. He's towards the end of his career, obviously, but the Astros really enjoy hitting off left-handed pitchers. Even the left-handed batters that are in the Astros lineup have pretty even splits against righties and lefties. I mean, to be fair, the top 3 left-handed batters we have, Kyle Tucker, Michael Brantley, Yordan Alvarez. Those guys can just flat out hit. So I don't think they give a shit who's pitching. They don't care what side it's coming from. I think as long as you have good at bats, you force him to throw a lot of pitches, he's going to eventually give in and have to come into the strike zone. And when he does that, they're just going to have to punish him. It's possible to get to him again. I mean, Alex Bregman pretty much owns this guy in the playoffs. So
what order did Bregman bat in yesterday?
Yesterday he batted third. It was Jose Altuve, Michael Brantley, and then Alex Bregman. He hit a home run on a 2-0 count in the first inning last night.
Let's see. Have they put up the lineup yet?
I was trying to find it. I haven't seen it yet.
Let me see.
Because I've been clicking on a bunch of stuff, trying to get like a game preview, and I haven't seen it yet.
So RotoWire is estimating the following lineup is going to be as followed. Following lineup, whatever. Jose Altuve, Michael Brantley, Alex Bregman, Yordan, Carlos Correa, Yuli, Kyle Tucker, Jake Myers, and Maldonado.
Oh, see, I was hoping that they would start. From what I'm showing, the lineup is to be determined.
Okay.
So I'm hoping to see Jason Castro start at the catching position today. So far in the postseason, or in the ALCS, I mean, he's 2 for 4. He's gotten 2 hits, 2 RBIs. So the first RBI was just like this monstrous home run he hit at home that really didn't mean anything. And then last night, he had a pinch hit. No, it wasn't a pinch hit because he was already in the game. But he had an RBI single that gave the Astros the lead in the top of the 9th. Offensively, he is a drastic improvement over Martin Maldonado. Martin Maldonado excels in how he handles the pitching staff for the Astros. All the pitchers for the Astros trust him. He does his homework. He knows the ins and outs of all of it. And he got some pretty high praise from Tony La Russa. Tony La Russa said that no one is in Yadier Molina's category when it comes to being a catcher and a student of the game. But he said the next best person he's ever seen is Martin Maldonado. And you got to think that that's a guy who managed Mike Matheny. Mike Matheny is one of the best catchers I've ever seen. obviously I put Yadier above him, but Martin Maldonado, the way he receives the ball, the way he frames pitches, the way he calls the game, he's really good. And he's also, they call him the machete because he cuts runners down.
Nice.
But in this series, the Red Sox, they only stole 40 bases all season, and their highest base stealer only had 8 total. So they're not necessarily a team that's going to run. I think we can count on the pitchers to kind of cut that run game down, keep the runners close to first base. Obviously, Framber is a left-handed pitcher, so I think that will aid in cutting the runners down that get on base. Hopefully, there are no runners on base, but being a left-handed pitcher, you can have a more deceptive move. It's a little harder for the guys to get breaks off first base, but I think you're gaining so much more offensively to have Jason Castro in there as opposed to Martin Maldonado that it makes up for those extra outs that Martin's going to get you.
Well, I know Dusty's listening right now, and he's probably going to do the opposite of everything you just said because
he knows I don't like him.
Right, and Dusty also likes to go against the grain, and he has weird favoritism at weird times and weird spots and weird players to where we've seen it be the downfall of the Astros in critical times, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So hopefully he doesn't do that tonight. Prediction, Astros pulling it off?
Man, I don't know. Chris Sale is a tough matchup.
In Boston.
Yeah, it's in Boston. It's a day game after a night game.
Yep.
Okay, that's what I want to talk about. Why the fuck are the Astros and Red Sox being forced to play day games after night games when the Dodgers and Braves have yet to play a day game in their NLCS? I know that they're slated to, right? I understand that game 4, I think, is supposed to be at 4:08 p.m. or whatever the hell. But I just don't understand. So I got it when they started. So the Astros and Red Sox played game 1, 7:00. Then they played game 2 at 12 or 1 or something like that. And they did that so that the Braves and Dodgers could be prime time on Friday night. That's cool. I understand that. But then yesterday, the Astros and Red Sox were playing prime time, and lo and behold, the Dodgers and Braves are playing at the exact same fucking time.
I want to say
Why?
that I'd have to go back and research it as well, but I think this is something they only do against the Astros, and I know that sounds real petty of me right now as an Astros fan saying that, but I remember if you look at some of the track records with Astros playoff games, a majority of them have always been the early games, right?
Always.
Now, a lot of people, I know what y'all are going to say, well, they're not the most popular team. They don't have the popularity of the Dodgers or the Braves or the Red Sox. Well, the Red Sox are pretty popular. You would think that they would go ahead and bump them up. I'm sure Boston fans don't love it.
Exactly. They have to hate this.
Right. Now, this isn't a Braves team that was as popular as they were back in the 90s and not even early 2000s, just 90s really. But yet they're getting to ride the coattails of the Dodgers, right? The media is putting it out to where the Dodgers are the white and shining armor knights that are coming out here, and they're the purest of baseball when in reality they're not. They can all eat a dick. But I don't know, man. I don't understand why they do that. Now, granted, their 7:00 start tonight is a 5 p.m. game in LA, but still, for the rest of the world that's almost asleep, they're having to stay up a little bit later and watch this game, right?
But I can understand that, right? Yeah, it's a West Coast game, and you're starting at 5:00, and so that's weird, right? But for the rest of the nation, that's 7-8 p.m. So that's a normal start time, right?
Right.
But what I'm saying is that normally during the playoffs, you want to have every game aired on a time slot where everybody can watch, nationwide.
True.
And the game today for Houston, today's a Wednesday, and the game starts at 4:08 Houston time.
Yep.
That's stupid.
It is. Oh, you want to hear something even dumber than that? Even though it's a 4:00 game for us, it's 5 p.m. for Boston. So that means people are getting off work and rushing to get to Fenway.
Well, I mean, knowing people in Boston, they probably just took the day off, or they're already drunk anyway.
Right.
So
I, it's stupid. I don't understand it. Because I want to say in the past between TBS and Fox, those two networks would run primetime games together, regardless of who it was, and it was a
right,
battle of which game are you going to go watch.
exactly. They
Well,
did it all the time, and
but
now all of a sudden it's like, oh no, we're gonna stagger them. That's dumb.
well, you do have cheaters versus cheaters, so I can see some of the reasoning on why it's an earlier game because
If
MLB.
you believe, I know you don't, but if you believe that those are the only two teams that are cheating in Major League Baseball, you are an idiot.
I've told you 1,000 times. Every MLB team cheats.
If you are a fan of the Yankees and you're thinking, we didn't cheat, we don't
Okay.
need to cheat. We
I
got
got a video
28
for
World
you.
Series championships. We don't need, man, fuck you. That shit came from Carlos Beltran. Carlos Beltran was magically on the Yankees right before he came to the Astros. And the Yankees lawyer had to sue to ensure that a private letter from a betting organization stayed private and was not released to the public because it was, quote, detrimental to the team's reputation. I wonder what that would say. Because I don't think that it's going to say that Yankee players hate the Yankee fans. I don't think it's going to say that.
No.
I don't think it's going to say that Yankee players beat their wives and the organization's okay with that. I don't think it's going to say that. And the only allegation through all that stuff was that teams were cheating. And that's why people betting money were not able to make the appropriate amount of money because teams were cheating. So if there's a letter that's detrimental to the team that's surrounding a cheating scandal, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that it's about fucking cheating. Just saying.
I mean, we already saw it whenever Boston and New York, while they were facing off against each other in an exhibition game or a regular season game, got caught cheating one way or another. Boston got caught with their video guy doing whatever he was doing. New York got caught with the Apple Watch, right?
Yeah.
Or using the bullpen phone as an actual communicator to say what pitches were coming, right?
Right.
So those y'all who are saying I'm making this shit up, go do your own fucking homework and go look. It's everywhere. You can find it. It's not hidden in the depths of Reddit. You don't have
not
to
on the
search
dark
through
web.
9,000 pages of Pornhub to find it.
Yeah, you don't have to decode the DNA, the DNA, or the human genome to find it out. It's
out
right
there, right? So all of you baseball fans that want to come out here and say your team is pure and this, fuck, what was it earlier the season before the season started? I text you the MLB guy who said I've got information on all these major teams, including the Dodgers, saying that they've cheated to get where they've gotten or to get to the World Series or to win a World Series. And the very next day, that statement's gone. He retracted everything.
Yeah, I had to think about exactly what we were talking about. I remember that he posted all that stuff. He tweeted it out.
Yep.
And then it was like the next day he apologized, and it's like MLB made him take it down. So I don't know. I'm speculating that MLB made him take it down. I don't actually know that.
Oh, absolutely.
But that's what I believe. In my heart, I believe he made it. And then so on top of that, Tony La Russa, way back in the day when we were, still swimming around, he was the manager of the Detroit Tigers. And what he would do is they had a television camera trained on the catcher's mitt of the opposing team, and he would send the next day's starting pitcher to his office, and that guy had a light that he controlled from Tony La Russa's office on the scoreboard. And if it was going to be a fastball, it was either a fastball or a breaking ball. I can't remember. But one of the pitches, if it was a fastball, he'd light the light up. And if it was a breaking ball, he'd turn the light off. And that was in 1981.
That's nuts.
So you're telling me that from 1981 to 2017, no one improved upon that? It was only the Astros that were doing that? Get the fuck out of here. You're naive and you're a little bitch. And Aaron Judge, if you hear me, you're a little bitch. I know you're 6'8". I understand you're big as fuck. You're a bitch. I don't care. Or are you cold? Fixed. I'll bring you a jacket so that you can stay warm on your motherfucking couch, bitch. Anyway.
Got the blood boiling.
Dude, I hate him. He's a great player. Don't get me wrong. He is a very good player, and I respect his game. But he's a bitch when it comes to talking about other teams and not wanting to own it, man. If you want to talk shit, that's fine.
So
own it. Look at Carlos Correa. What does Carlos Correa say? He said it's time, and he said if you don't have the facts, quit talking shit.
Since we were talking about the Yankees, what'd you think about Aaron Boone getting a 3-year extension?
I mean, I agree with it. I think he's a very good manager. I think he's a player's manager. I think that's why they like him. That's why they respond to his stuff. I just think it's unfortunate that he's the manager of the Yankees when, like the Astros are good, the Rays are good, the Red Sox are good. There's a lot of pretty decent teams in the American League, and they've just been getting the shaft.
Oh, I think this is a last chance for Aaron Boone. I know a lot of Yankee fans were surprised that he got this after the way that they ended this postseason. They wanted him gone because, I mean, shit, he can't get past the LDS. He's been to two.
And I mean, it's not his fault that Garrett Cole couldn't throw more than 50 pitches. So I mean,
this is true, right?
And he realized, oh shit, okay, he doesn't have his best stuff. I'm taking him out. Like he did. Like, I guess what I'm saying is when you look at what he does as a manager, there's not anything that sticks out where like we were talking about Dusty Baker taking out Zach Greinke. There was nothing in there where you're like, what the hell is Boone doing? Like He was kind of in tune with what was going on with his team. His team just didn't have it this year. And I just don't think you can place all the blame on him when you have these guys that are supposed to be superstars at every level and they're not performing on the grandest stage. That's not his fault, I don't think.
That's true. I don't know. I think I don't think he's going to last his 3-year extension if they can't get any farther in the playoffs. If they can improve through the regular season and start taking the division. But then again, they're playing in a hard division. So he's going to have to change something up. He can't just keep referring back to page 1 of the same book over and over.
I mean, I feel like if he doesn't at least make it to game 7 of an ALCS next year, he'll be on the hot seat for year 2 and he won't have year 3 come up.
So let's just say this. Let's just say he gets fired from the Yankees mid-season. Would you be upset with him being an Astros coach?
Yeah, I don't like him. I'm being honest. I don't think I think he's good for New York. That's like his wheelhouse. I think the only team he could manage would be New York. That's it.
Yeah.
Maybe the Phillies, maybe, but I think they might hate him in Philadelphia because he's the enemy.
Well, we got to worry about this postseason now before we start worrying about next year and everything after that, right? So,
yeah.
Oh man, y'all tune in the game. Go Astros!
Of course, go Astros.
And I'm gonna say go Braves because fuck the Dodgers.
I mean, honestly, I'm kind of rooting for an Astros-Dodgers World Series, but I do have a part of me in my heart that hates the Braves because of Chipper Jones. So that would be cool too to see the Astros finally beat the Braves in a game that really matters.
They were the Achilles heel in fucking the 90s, man.
Yep.
And then
every time you'd make the playoffs in the 90s and it'd be like, who are you going to play in the divisional round? The fucking Braves? Are you serious?
The Braves,
Chipper Jones,
the Cubs,
there'd be no other
Cardinals.
player on the Braves that would get a hit. Chipper Jones would be like 3 for 4 with 6 RBIs. Like, how the fuck is this possible?
Oh man. Well, I don't know. Braves, Cardinals, and Cubs were the enemies for the Astros in the 90s, 2000s.
100%. Oh, yeah.
Well, the next time that you're at AT&T or T-Mobile and you're trying to get a new iPhone 600 or whatever the fuck is out there.
Yeah, whatever we're at now.
Go ahead and throw it on Spotify, tie into their Bluetooth speakers, and just start playing Two Wannabe Athletes Talk Sports. Maybe you'll get a discount out of it. I don't know. We're not sponsored by AT&T or T-Mobile, but if they want, I think we're probably sponsored by Cricket, and we don't even know it.
I think it's Boost Mobile. I'm not sure. Now, the next time that you're at Walmart and you're putting your kids' gifts on layaway, Take your Bluetooth speaker with you and just blare "To Wannabe Athletes Talk Sports" from your pocket. What's it going to hurt? You're going to
Have
be
you
in
ever
that
done
line
that in a
forever
random
anyway.
spot?
Huh?
Have you ever done that in a random spot? Like if they have access to a Bluetooth speaker at a store or something, you ever just blasted something on there?
No, I have been like on the tram, like the rail system downtown, and randomly people just walk around with their phones and they're just blaring music through the speaker on their phone.
I don't
And I'm
understand.
like, what? So it's like I don't understand what they're trying to prove. Like, are you trying to show like how cool you are in your music taste? Or are you trying to show me how poor you are that you don't have AirPods? Like,
Bro,
which is
if I was a musician, I'd do that. That's free marketing right there.
well, no, if you're playing your own music, that's fine. But this girl was 5'3", 90 pounds.
Playing
and
Slipknot.
She was playing like the most vulgar rap music from a man that I've ever heard.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm pretty sure that's not her voice. So she's
Yeah.
not advertising her music.
Whoa, dude, it's 2021. You never know.
I would bet my life that was not her.
Guys, thank y'all for joining us. Y'all know where to find us on all things social media. We're on there. Don't forget about daily Ed's hockey picks. On Saturdays, we try to throw out some college picks. On Sundays, Zach has NFL going on that one. And as always, we're betting on rrsportsbetting.com. If you need it, links down below.
That's the go-to.
Go to it, man. This has been another episode of 2 Wannabe Athletes Talk Sports. I'm Ed.
I'm Zach.
See you next time, assholes.
Always a goat.